Hey, how are you? Welcome to the show. It's Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide, the greatest live stream in the history of live streams ever. And I think that shows taste and breeding on your part that you're even here. I mean, where else are you going to see Hal Sparks, like nobody else can Hal Sparks. By the way, for those of you that don't know who Hal Sparks is, and Hal Sparks is not a sufficient answer. Let me just tell you, when you hear about the deep state, that's me. When you hear about the establishment, also me. So if you see people freaking out and bitching about either of those two things, they're talking about me. Just letting you know. So just, let you know. Now, first of all, hi chat room. You guys are awesome. Welcome to the show. Love you guys. Very excited that you're here. Keyframe rate 1.4, recommended 2. What the hell is up with the keyframes on, maybe that's the issue we're having with YouTube. Maybe it's got a weird thing. All right. Yes, I am the deep state. You might not, I might not hit bottom, but I'll scrape the shit out of the sides. And this is the important thing. Look. I have finally gotten back to the gym enough after my shoulder that I feel like I'm almost healed, and it's almost been a year. Welcome to your 50s, gentlemen. But I was able to actually do all of the exercises that I used to normally do all the time without going, oh, that's going to break. Because I had a major injury last year in the fall. It was technically late November, early December when it actually happened, but still, we're getting there. It's very exciting. I was very happy today because I've been very cautious because I believe in long-term healing. You don't need to know this. It's just important that if you're going to be in a situation like that, you're going to want to warm up more. Okay, you want to ease into that stuff, right? If you're in a real fight or a real emergency, your body will kick in a bunch of adrenaline and other shit that always shows up when you're in those situations, okay? But if you're just working out at the gym, you don't have that. Unless, I guess, you go to the spookiest fucking gym in the world, in which case there's somebody out there just going, bah! And your body's like, you go into fight or flight, But if you're working out, warm that shit up. So, now, I have a challenge that I'm going through as over time doing this show. There have been news ebbs and flows, people. There's been elements of the news where you're like, it's not as crazy as it's been. It's certainly not sane, but I might have to reach down deep and pull some entertainment up because maybe the topics are a little drier than they have been. Maybe take a little more time to massage the comedy out of it or even explain the basic underlying principle, right? Yeah, that's not my problem right now. My problem right now is just the fire hose of insanity coming out of Trump land. And let me show you. Let me just kick off with what I'm talking about. Okay, so remember during the debate, Harris, and by the way, thank you guys. Don't forget, super chats, always welcome. There's the Venmo, if that's your favorite thing. If you don't have any way to give or support the show, here's how you give to the show. Breathe deep, relax, and let me show you how everything's going to be all right. You know what I mean? Because that's a gift you can give to me just by letting me know that I took the weight off a little bit, that I, through my comedic and, quite frankly, intellectually honest and genius takes, help lift that burden. And that's what I'm here for, kids. All right, now, so help if you can, whatever. And thanks to our mods for helping us deal with the huge, by the way, huge influx of new chatters who are, happy to be here and meaning, what they say, and the trolls and maggots that show up going, right? Which, by the way, we welcome. I want to remind everybody right out of the gate, maggots, trolls, we know you're there, and I want you to know that you are welcome here. Obviously, your racial epithets and your disgusting opinions about things aren't necessarily, but you as a human being might be salvageable, and consider this your off-ramp back into the neighborhood of normal. But while you're here, if you do write something in there, all I ask is that you lay off the N-words and stuff, and the anti-gay epithets that start with an F, and those kind. If you just steer clear of those, you can get all your bullshit in and it'll stay posted, right? Use your big bigot words. Sure. That works. That's all I ask, right? So, anyways, welcome to the show. So let me show you what I'm doing. So during the debate, Harris did many things that were brilliant, but one of them was recommending that people watch a Donald Trump rally and watch how people start walking out in the middle of them and they're bored as shit, right? And she's absolutely right. And by the way, I think more than any other talking point that came up, that's the one they got from me. I'm saying the people in the White House and around the campaigns know full well that I've been pushing this for a long time, that watch the whole thing. Don't grab a little snippet and assume that, oh, that was crazy, but the rest of it's completely cool. So, like, he's got it together. That was just one thing. No, the whole thing is just blather. It's self-involved, nonsensical, it's boring. It's all the things, that she brought up. Like, people are walking out, and this is true. Even his own followers have gotten tired of this shit. And I was on the forefront of reminding everybody, like, that's why I did the whole, when we would do a Trump rally, we'd do the whole fucking thing. So he was just in Arizona this afternoon, today, whatever. Now, one of the things by the way, it's Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide, in case you're sharing it out there. Mega Worldwide being one word, just letting you know. Anyway, so one of the things they've been trying to do to clean up the mess that Donald Trump, I was going to say has made, but just is. He's a mess. He's a fucking mess. He's a mess. Is that they keep trying to get him to do these tighter, smaller, non-rally kind of get-togethers, because they can't pull the crowd they used to. But that's what they tell him. And they're about a particular theme, right? Usually the economy or the border or whatever is the idea. That he's going to come in and go, here, this is about policy. People have been saying, Scott Baio said stick to policy. So Trump and his team went, yes, Chachi, you got it. And they started setting up this, oh my good Lord, Chris. Thanks for welcoming the trolls. Bless your heart. Thank you so much. And Last Bricks as well. Bless you. Oh, good Lord. And welcoming the trolls so wonderfully, after all they've been through, So let me tell you something. Wow, holy shit. We got 7,000 people piling in here. It's pretty nuts. And I'm very proud of that fact, and welcome, and I'm glad you're here. Now, they've been putting him on these, this little mini tour where he's supposed to stick to policy. He never does. It's always the same shit. They put that stuff in the teleprompter. He mentions some of it, and then he's got a stack on top of it because he just can't believe that voters give a fuck about anything of substance. That it's really just, if you can just trigger them and freak them out, it's just like a TV show. They will tune in next time. And he doesn't realize that people are more impacted. Unlike a TV show, you can just stop watching it. You can't stop watching your life. Your life continues. And if policies are in place that will fuck you up or somebody you love or know, it matters, right? And he can't quite get that, okay? He can't quite grasp that reality. Because, I'm sure there's been a lot of deep psychobabble about him, and how he was raised. But quite frankly, he's a grown man. He doesn't give a shit. Yeah. Oh, that was a 16. That's right. 11640. Oh, bless you. That's so great. 164. That's so awesome. So this is, you can see from this sign, this is about make housing affordable again. I think that's how it's pronounced. Right? MHAA. Again, and housing wasn't affordable before. We were still 6 million units low while he was president. It's just stupid. And by the way, you want to make housing affordable again? Real quick. I've solved it. Come here. Before we even get into this shit. I can stay on topic even if he can't. You know how you make housing affordable in the United States? You make LLCs that buy and sell real estate have to show who they are and where the money came from. You get rid of the opaque nature of real estate LLCs, and all the foreign and cartel money will evaporate in a fucking second. because they're sitting on, and it isn't, again, it isn't even about like BlackRock or one of these companies, that's one of these large companies or whatever. It's about like a myriad of these medium-sized shell company LLCs. Trump has 1,500 LLCs. 600 of them are flush with Russian money that he got from someplace else, and it's just for a bank account. And that bank account buys a piece of property, sits on it, and does nothing with it, driving up the price and the value of every house around it. So you buy 5 houses on a row, you rent out or sell 4 of them, and then the 5th one just rises along with them, and you keep it vacant so you never have to kick anybody out. And you do it in these high dollar areas like California and New York, where there's a ton of like squatters' rights laws and all kinds of stuff that might make it hard to sell, so you keep them empty on purpose. The Chinese have been doing it with buildings in downtown Los Angeles. They've been doing it in downtown in New York. That's what you do. There's other reasons, normal ones, like build more houses, lower interest rate. All that is true, but none of them, none of these little measures that are in the logical world of buying and selling houses or giving people, help with their down payment or a tax break on their first home. All of that stuff is dwarfed by the overwhelming bullshit money cash buys that are sitting on top of a bunch of empty houses and empty buildings that nobody gets to be in, and that they just ride up the market until such time as they want to sell them. And you know what they do? They sell them to another LLC that's just like them, full of foreign money, for cash, and bail out. It's money laundering. These are homes. They should be lived in. And if somebody's just going to buy like 3 houses on a block and leave them fucking empty and pay, baseline maintenance, turn off the water and the electricity, have a security, management company drive by it every fucking 3 weeks, have somebody mow the lawn just to keep the HOA off their back, and then it drives up the cost of every house in the neighborhood because there's less supply. It. That's how you do it. Like all this other stuff by comparison, fucking window dressing. And by the way, it won't surprise you that the Biden administration and the state of New York and the state of California are working on legislation to do just that. And if you want to pick one thing besides going to jail that Donald Trump fears most about losing this election and happening in the next during the next term of the next president, it's that. Because you start cracking open those real estate LLCs, holy fuck, you're going to see a cockroach scatter like a shock scene from The Walking Dead. Now, back to what I was saying. All right, here we go. So this is him supposed to be doing this thing, and he's, proud to be comes out, does a song. Now, this, by the way, this is in a theater in Tucson. I don't know if it says where it is, but this looks like the theater that the Sexy Liberal Comedy Tour is coming to in Arizona. They're in Tucson, so we're in Phoenix. We're in Phoenix proper. But it's basically the same size as the theater we just played in Portland, for example. And we have crowds this size, but we charge money. We're a comedy show that sells tickets. And we have a fiery, happy, joyous, loud crowd that paid to enter the building. Everybody in this building went for free. And some of the people there, quite frankly, some of the people on the stage, more than likely, were paid by the campaign to be there. Not only is it free, they're literally writing checks to people to get them to sit in strategic places so they can use it. Yeah. Melted Cheetah, yes, we were just in PDX, and I had a Nerd Halen show and everything. Welcome, but we'll be back, don't worry. And I also had to do CPR on a man who sadly passed away. We think it was a aneurysm ultimately, but yeah, that's true. That was a big weekend. That was a crazy fucking 3 days, Portland. Way to live up to the legend. Shit. But it was great to see Tara Dublin in person, who's lovely. Okay, here we go. Now, listen to let's just go through the opening of this, because in the old days, I could just pop this in and we'd just do this all night. And there's a piece of it that I want to show you. I heard it like coming in here. And I think it's in the very beginning. But, well, I'll show you. Whatever.
This is a rambunctious crowd.
This is a rambunctious crowd. Yeah, they're just glad to get in and out of the heat.
Well, hello, Tucson. It's great to be with you. I love this place. We've been very successful here, as you know, and I'm thrilled to be back in the great state of Arizona with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots.
I'm proud to be with proud, hardworking American patriots is, by the way, in every speech.
That's why this is a nice group. I like it. Look at all those people. Wow.
I guarantee, as someone who's spent more time on stage than he has, he can see that there are people, but he cannot see the people. He can't see them. The house lights are down. He can't see them. He knows they're there. He might have seen them from the side and he's referencing them, but he cannot physically see them. It is darker than even the first, maybe 20 rows of the audience that you could see from light from the stage.
As everyone saw 2 nights ago, we had a monumental victory over Comrade Kamala Harris in the presidential debate.
He really sounds like he believes it. We had a monumental win over Comrade Kamala Harris. It's too many letters, just not the right. I gotta fucking work on that. It's just Crooked Hillary just was so quick, but Comrade Kamala, I'm gonna end up doing the fucking. I'm gonna have a tongue twister on this shit, and then people are gonna make fun of me because I'm gonna come out and say something like
free health care for illegal. Yeah, look.
And it's just gonna sound like shit, anyways. And I know I didn't read the. I didn't win, and everybody knows it.
Here I am like an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
We won big with independent voters, moderates, Republicans, and working people all across this nation, putting forward a clear vision to...
Okay, all right, at this point, not only did he not watch, whoever wrote this didn't watch the fucking the debate at all, a clear vision. That's adorable. They're eating the dogs. Nothing could be clearer. Not only did the person who wrote this speech not watch the debate, but I'm not even sure if Trump remembers what happened.
Very simply, make America great again.
By the way, he hates that phrase, and he wanted CAG, Keep America Great, and everybody outvoted him, and it wasn't his phrase to start with. And there are a couple of times we've seen this over the years where he starts to go, somebody said, this again. I was like, MAGA, what is MAGA? I don't know what MAGA is. And I don't even like it. But it really grew on people. And you like MAGA? Let's do a poll. Do you like MAGA or CAG? Like, it's just so lame.
Meanwhile, Kamala Harris showed up spewing empty rhetoric, the same old lies, meaningless platitudes, offering no plans, no policies, and no...
Really, actually, the only specific plans or policies were presented by Harris. The $25,000, assistance for people buying their first home, $6,000 for people in the first year of their child's life for a tax credit, and then the regular tax credit from that point on, because that's the idea. Is you put the child tax credit in for about $3,500 and $6,000 for the first year of life because it's the most expensive, right? That's the idea, and that's an actual plan. That is actually something she presented. It is the only thing. Meanwhile, this asshole is like, I got concepts of a plan.
Details whatsoever, nothing.
Literally, there were details.
The 2 anchors, David Muir and Lindsay Davis, sat there and only...
They called out my lie that doctors bang babies' heads on tables and then throw them in the garbage after birth.
Corrected me on things where I was right, but didn't correct Kamala on Project 25 that I knew nothing about.
Real quick, shithead. It's Project 2025, and you can't evade a lie detector test by changing the details of the thing you're being asked. So, of course, you've never heard of Project 25 Neither have I. There is no Project 25. Of course you have nothing to do with Project 25, you fucking moron. It doesn't exist. It's Project 2025. Does it matter? Yeah. It does. Because it seems like you're trying to weasel out of it. I never even heard of this Project 25. Yeah, that's because you're the first person fucking saying it. What about Project 2025? Oh shit. Yeah, that's my guys.
On the bloodbath hoax that has been totally debunked, which had to do with the automobile industry that is going.
Oh, sorry. That's you're stuck on the wrong lie. That's the first lie Don Jr. came up with after you said bloodbath because the immigrants are going to slaughter everybody. You're talking about immigrants bring terror and murder and rape and terrorism, and that you don't worry about the cars because people are going to be slitting throats all over the country. That's what you meant by it. But you tried to cover it with bloodbath in the auto industry. That was the initial lie. Then later on, it became it's just a general word said about economics.
Going to be dying. It's dying under this administration. They're all going to be shipped out to China. And everybody in the automobile industry manufacturing automobiles, vote for Trump. We're going to bring back that industry. These people are killing it.
How? How are they killing it? What are they killing? What are they killing? How are they killing it? Because, car sales are up. You couldn't get a hold of a car. They have an inventory problem, if anything.
She talked about knowing it was all false. She talked about the Charlottesville hoax, and these people did nothing.
Oh, you mean the hoax that you didn't say they're fine people on both sides, and the next sentence after it cleaned it all up? Because you're saying, yeah, there's people with tiki torches yelling, Jews will not replace us. But amongst that crowd was some lady in an old dress going, I just think it's about our heritage. That shit, yeah, that's your cover, asshole?
About it, which has been totally debunked, as they say, by Snopes and Snoops and everybody else.
That's what I was talking about. That's what I wanted to show you. There's no Snoops. Snoops. There's no website called Snoops. Now, I think he literally. Well, we'll back up and hear the whole thing. He thinks it's really Snoops. He thinks Snopes, he doesn't know what that means. He knows what snooping is, so therefore he thinks that's the real word. So from the D-O-double-G. So apparently this is all, it's a big plot to put Snoop Dogg on the Voice and then get Taylor Swift to endorse Kamala, something like that. Anyway, so Snoops or Snopes, and then he doesn't go back to Snopes. He pulls a full old man talking interwebs.
Charlottesville hoax, and these people did nothing about it, which has been totally debunked, as they say, by Snopes and Snoops and everybody else. And go look it up. Go to Snoops, whatever the hell that is.
He thinks the thing he's reading says Snoops. He's looking right at it. S-N-O-P-E-S, and he thinks that spells Snoops. And you can tell that he really believes it because he has never heard of it, he thinks, which he absolutely has. How do you not know what Snopes is if you're running for office and especially been fact-checked as much as he has? Get the fuck out of here. Look at his face. He has no fucking idea. He has no fucking idea.
No, I hear that's a liberal site, and they came out totally in favor of me. This got to be a bad thing, but they said they gave you total phony stories. Kamala Harris said.
Yeah, Snoops is a totally liberal site. I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard Snoopy, not as much as Woodstock, but certainly
that no state allows abortion in the 9th month, which is a complete and total lie. They do.
Yeah, for the life of the mother. So, all right, we don't need to do this whole thing because I got too much shit to cover, and that's the issue that I was dealing with, chat room. But let me say something. If you are a pro-lifer, if you are pro-life and you call yourself pro-life and you're the most pro-life person ever, and you're pro-lifing at all the fucking pro-life time, I'd like to tell you that, and I don't actually have to tell you. You're that pro-life. You know this. That if you are for exceptions for the case of rape, incest, and life of the mother. The rape and incest abortions happen in the first trimester. Maybe in the case of a woman who's been chained in her fucking basement and sexually assaulted by a father or a stepfather or an uncle or somebody like that who escaped and needed an abortion past the first trimester. That's rarely when you're going to get it. The drop off after the first trimester for abortions is a fucking cliff. But if you're giving abortions to save the life of the mother, the majority of those are happening in the third trimester, and they are 0.01% of abortions. If you are for an exception for the life of the mother, then you are for abortions in the 9th month, because that's the time when she's trying to give birth and something terrible goes wrong, and the only way to save her is to sacrifice what's left of the fetus, as it might be, yes, there are ectopic ones too, but the vast majority. I'm talking about all the late-term abortions. There are no, last minute, I don't want to have a kid. There are none. All of them. At 7, 8, 9 months, a baby is viable, and if born alive, will not be murdered. No, exactly. That's called a C-section. In the 7th, 8th, and 9th month, if they decide they don't want to, have a baby in them anymore because they're fucking crazy or something like that, they get a C-section. The baby is put up for adoption, and again, this is fantastical. Never happens. But the point is, Donald Trump says that there are no. She says there's no abortions in the 9th month. Nobody ever said that. There are no elective abortions in the 9th month, nor should there be. But if you are for the exceptions for life of the mother, then you are for abortions in the 9th month, because that's when those happen. The majority of those happen then. In the last 3 months, that's when they discover something is terribly wrong, the fetus is not viable, and it's gonna kill the woman. So if you're for that exception, you support late-term abortions, because that's what they're for. That's the only thing they're for. The other thing, you know what cuts down on abortions more than anything else? You know what the greatest solution, I guess the second greatest besides abstinence, which, it's very difficult, is contraception. That would seem like the thing, right? Maybe just the availability of contraception. How about this? How about male contraception? Yeah, reversible vasectomies, I'm for it. Yeah. Trump thinks the afterbirth is a person. He thinks the placenta is a living being. Yeah. He doesn't care. He doesn't think any of this shit. He just says the words that make people react. All these words are him just yelling boo into a microphone. He has no idea what any of this shit is about. Every pregnancy starts with a penis. Yeah, but and an egg. Right? That's like saying every... if men, I don't know, if men just masturbate, there's no baby either. That starts with a penis. It's both people involved. That's always, I don't know, that's a weird pushback. That doesn't land, kids. What I'm telling you, though, is maybe be for contraceptives, because that would actually stop, an actual pregnancy before it starts, and therefore... Men are sterile, there's no baby. If women are sterile, there's no baby. What are you talking about? Takes two to tango, baby. Yeah, there are no master babies. That's right. There's a male pill now. Not quite. They're testing one. It's not out yet. Because believe me, you want to talk about the conversation that's going to shift from parents giving the pill to their son instead of their daughter, which will be, an increasingly normalized situation. Because they're not going to take them down and have fucking surgery and put that little vasectomy switch in your testicles, which they literally talk about that. I'm like, that's just like, you wouldn't go into a woman's abdomen and go, we're gonna do this temporary tube tie in you. It's a terrible idea. But if you could come up with something that a functional contraceptive for both sides that worked evenly, be a great thing. Just saying. Love that. Master babies? Yes, there have been none that we know of. All right, so do we do the rest of the Trump speech? No, because you're not going to get any. It's the same shitty stuff. He just bitches about. This is his make housing affordable again. Also, by the way, I'll point out here real quick. Make housing affordable again. Make housing affordable again. No tax on tips. Okay, he's putting this around. Now, he does not make a distinction about no tax on tips, that it is for the hospitality industry. So under his plan, all the money that Bob Menendez got from the Egyptian government would be tax-free. I'm serious. That's why he doesn't make that distinction. And it's why the Harris campaign made the distinction. Hospitality industry. Yeah, you tip waiters and drivers and people who you're interacting with. They're service professionals, right? Okay, so make housing affordable again. He goes nowhere near making housing affordable again in the entire speech. It's in there. It's in the teleprompter more than likely. It kind of has to be, right? You'd think. Then just blows it off. He talks to Carrie Lake at one point, and he blathers on, and he says Snopes at the beginning of it. And he just bitches about the debate. Somebody in the chat room just said, who would rely on a man to take the pill regularly? I got to tell you, getting men to take the pill is not the hard part. I'm just saying. If it was available, holy shit. Every dude I know would be like, put it in a smoothie. Let's do this. As long as I get an erection and still ejaculate, I give a shit, right? That's how it's going to be. I'm just telling you. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that stuff, right? There's a pill for men, NyQuil PM. Oh, is that what you do with your kids too, you monster? Okay, so it's mommy's little helper. Just give him some NyQuil, some Benadryl. Let him pass out on the couch. Benadryl's worked its magic. He's ready to go to bed. Let's do this, honey. All right, darling, as Trump says.